Um, I'm from Peckham, South East London. I work for St Giles Trust and I've been working there for 2.5 years or so. I got into this charity to try and help young boys and girls away from, a life of crime. Growing up, in hindsight, I look back and sort of see some of the things that I used to be involved in as a normality, that everybody was doing. These things, as I got older, they sort of escalated. I started hanging around with older guys, different backgrounds. Selling drugs and stuff was the norm, quick way to make money. Nobody ever really questioned if it was even a necessity, because we could have got jobs. I mean, I did used to work when I was young, but I was never really sort of taught about focusing on a career or even like the real benefits of education. I grew up on an estate, single mum. My mum, she did her best to provide everything for us, but in doing that, it required her to be at work a lot. So a lot of time, we was out, and I soon sort of like started to fend for myself. Now I got into situations and that, which led me to be convicted for a firearms offence. And I was sentenced to 14 years in prison, of which I did 7 of. And that was about the age of 21, 22. I mean, I came out of prison, I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have any money. Obviously, I didn't have experience or certain job experience to go and sort of like get into work. Plus now I have a criminal record. I was on licensed supervision for about 4 years after being released, and I really didn't know where to turn initially after being released, so I was tempted at a time to sort of like get back into crime just to get money. I had 2 children before I was convicted, and they were now 11 years old and 8 years old. I had to try and establish a relationship with them as well. And everything I thought of cost money, so in trying to just survive, I needed to get work, which wasn't easy, obviously, because of the criminal record. I started a few times about it and thought that it wasn't worth trying. I used to have a barbershop before in Peckham, so a lot of people I used to see that used to come to my shop always used to say to me, like, you should try and get a shop again. So I managed to put some money together and opened a shop in Peckham. That sort of helped me to stay out of, the clutches of the law and, not really get into too much crime that was gonna, send me back to prison. But if I didn't have that to fall back on, I don't really know how I would have got through, because at that time there was no support. Well, I was never introduced to any support, and the probation service didn't offer me any support in that way either. Coming out, and then I got the barbershop going. I got into St Giles Trust, and since then the JBVC project came up, and this is why I felt like this project was really sort of tailored for me, because I understand like what it's like when you first get out of prison, or even before you get out, just before you get out, the unknown coming out back into society and not really knowing what's out there for you or what you're going to do next. For me, I try to encourage young people, or try to encourage these people that it's never too late to sort of try and turn their life around, and support them with everything that I have at my disposal, the pros and cons of the lifestyle that they live in, and that they don't actually have sustainable futures. Because obviously I know, from me growing up, I know many guys that have been doing, drugs and crime and got into violent crime, and it never lasts for long. There's nobody that I could tell you about at my age that's been doing that actively since their teens, and they're still doing it now successfully.